We haven't started.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. We start this
Thank you, madam.
session. What a wonderful morning. Uh, Chairman of Ahmedabad branch, CA Fenil Shah, convener of Women Member Empowerment Committee, CA Jhalak Parikh, CA Nisha Patel. I can see many women members empowerment committee right on Saturday morning, and it's really precious to see a routine has been set now that Saturday it's a day for personal growth and personal development, and every Saturday morning we are all groomed to see these beautiful faces. I can see Reshma joining today, Pranali, Charmi, Disha. These are all women empowerment committee members, and I salute their commitment to be right on time every Saturday morning. I welcome the esteemed speaker for today, Ms. Sneha Ji, for her prompt acceptance. And our chairman is also enjoying his Saturday from Udaipur, and I also appreciate his commitment to be there to share his views. So let's start this beautiful morning. We'll start with the words of wisdom from our chairman. Request CF Anil Shah to share few words.
Thank you, Anshuman, for giving this wonderful start to the webinar.
Anil Bhai.
Am I audible now?
Audible, audible, audible.
Thank you. Very learned speaker for the morning to guide all of us, Miss Sneha Jaggar ji, a very rich profile, and to talk on inspiring life journey. CA Choksi, chairperson of Women Empowerment Committee and Vikasa, CA Jalak Parikh and CA Nisha Patel, the convener of Women Empowerment Committee, and all the supercharged ladies who are here, women who are here to know about the inspiring life journey and to know from Sneha Jaggar. I'll not take time, but I'll just like to say that, uh, as Anjaliben rightly said, that you all are dedicated for a super development Saturday. So normally all the members of Ahmedabad every Sunday they are into manner in morning ritually. If I talk of tomorrow session, then tomorrow morning we are having a coach Sapna Vyas. She is going to guide us on nutritious health. Just missed out her name. Anjali, if you can add her,
N- Nirja ji in the evening. Hello.
tomorrow evenings are there from
Yes, Fenil
Mahabharata.
Bhai.
All women empowerment committee. Yes, normally we see the success of any person, but rarely we get an opportunity to know the path of getting that particular success. We all are privileged that today we impressed with the success
I think, hello. I think Fenil Bhai's uh, phone also do not want to. Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay.
Yes, Anjali.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think Fanil Bhai's phone also do not want to do anything on Saturday and is in vacation mood. So, with his words of inspiration, I just a reminder what he was trying to say is we are again having the busy Sunday. In the morning, we are having the health session, and in the evening, we are continuing the Puranic series where Nirja ji is going to guide us about the learning lessons from Bhagavad Gita. So we begin this session. I would request C.A. Jhalak Parikh to introduce our esteemed guest for today.
Thank you, C. Anjali Chokshi, for giving me this opportunity to introduce our expert faculty. A very good morning to all the beautiful ladies present. Uh, to continue with our ongoing series Kaleidoscope, a look into the changing role of women in current changeover time, we have with us today. We have with us our expert faculty, Sneha Jaggar. Sneha Jaggar is a Assistant Vice President, Key Accounts and Corporate Financial Well-being at International Money Matters Private Limited. She is India's first woman financial certified financial transitionist. Also, she has been recognized as one of the top 100 women in finance 2020 by Association of International Wealth Management of India. As a woman, she believes in giving back, and that's why she has created a channel titled I Am There For You and a podcast named Financial Wellness with Sneha. Also, she is also involved in, engaged in, wo- uh, facilitates many workshops named I Am Remarkable for empowerment of women and underrepresented groups to speak openly about their own accomplishment. So, here we present our expert faculty member, Sneha Jaggar. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Zalak. Thank you for the warm welcoming. Thanks, Anjali, for having me here today. I hope I'm audible to all. Just a quick check.
Yeah, yeah, you are.
Great. So nice to see a lot of women joining in today. And I'm going to drive this session a little differently. I'm not here to speak, I'm here to listen to what questions you have, and I'm here to answer those. So let's begin that way. I know Saturdays are lazy for everyone, but let's charge it up.
So, ma'am, tell us about what make you take up your current role. What inspired you to take up this current role?
Uh, I think it's been a systematic growth. So I pretty early on realized that I want to be in the finance field, and I think I also got introduced to a certification called Certified Financial Planner, which is a CFP certification, quite early on in my life, where I realized that managing money is something very close to me. Also, my background is that I'm from a Sindhi family and money is dear. And that's where my association of actually managing money came from. If you look at it, money is a life skill, right? But nobody really teaches you how to manage it. We start off learning a lot of things at school, in education, but we never end up really talking about money. You know, you need to learn, you need to study, you need to become whatever you have to become, because our parents have been telling us, you know, you have to go out there, you have to fetch for yourself, you have to get a job, etc. You have to save. But what do you actually do with the savings, and why do you technically save, is not really taught anywhere. So that's how I first took up my the financial planning career. And when I started deep diving into this space, I realized that there is an entire ocean out there even in the personal finance field itself. And slowly, gradually, I have taken up further niche areas into money management and grown laterally in the space, and I am here where I am today.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Like,
okay, Sneha ji, I'm Nisha.
Sure.
Nice seeing you here. As Jhalak said, that you are India's first woman certified financial transitionist.
Right.
Uh, and actually, can you enlighten us in brief what is it all about, and what is the scope of this course in India, and how we can pursue this course, and how it is going to help us in future?
Great. So, money, the more you study about it, the more you realize is rationally irrational, right? Although we quantify money and we say that, okay, you need so much, etc., etc., but our decisions on that money is based on our feelings, our emotions. So technically, money has two sides. One side, which is very, very systematic, driven by logic and driven by numbers, where you say, okay, I have so much money, so much expense, this is my savings, etc. But your decisions are actually made on the emotions that are going on at in your mind. That's the personal side of money, and these amalgamate very, very clearly when you undergo life transitions. Now, what are life transitions? Various things like marriage, separation, retirement, your childbirth. There is inheritance that you've received. When you become an empty nester, when your kids are actually gone abroad and now you have this, whatever, gone away from your house to study, they are no longer with you in your house. Then you have, you've won a lottery. There is loss of a spouse. That's when again transition happens. So technically, we are going through a lot of transitions in our life. At times we are stuck, at times we say that that's what life is all about, but there is a studied scientific way to manage that transition. To give you an example, if you have lost your parents, of course the inheritance is coming on to you, but are you really happy that, oh, my inheritance, my parents money has come to me? Not really. At that point in time you're mentally a little upset because you have had an emotional loss, and at that time what decisions would you make would may not be the best for you or for your family. You may either have feelings of overwhelm that, oh, there is so much to do, I don't know how to take care of real estate and things like that, let me just sell it off and take everything in cash, and you end up doing a distress sell. Or you may think that, oh, like, dad had so much sitting in the bank account and he never told us. You may suddenly feel like, okay, there's enough money to give to the whole family and the whole family can retire. Or you may just suddenly come to know that, oh my god, there are so many open loans out there which my parents have not closed, and now that I have to inherit and do it, how am I going to do? I have my own things, and your mind gets clouded. That's where the speciality of a financial transitionist comes into place, where we help clients undergoing these transition to have a focus, to create a systematic transition experience for them. And that's where a certified financial transitionist steps in. Transitions are not something which come and go within a few days. Transition takes years for it to happen, especially if you imagine that if there is a loss of a spouse, you would be getting whatever, your severance packages, etc., from the companies. You'll be getting the insurance inflow, but this spouse is technically going to be down because there is a huge emotional loss, and they are wondering about, how do I take care of my kids, how do I manage other things, who's going to take care of the bills, is this money going to be enough for me to manage things out? And then they end up using that money even sometimes not in a very right way, because they may think that, okay, let me just take somebody in and put the money somewhere which will give me guaranteed return so that I can take care of my family, because I've never taken active decisions in, managing that piece. So that's where people like me come into play and say, hold on, we are there for you. Let us understand what your requirements are. Let us restructure this. Let us create some focus, uncloud your mind, because there are too many things going on. And let's uncloud your mind. And there are certain tools that we run with the person undergoing transition to slowly get them to something called as ending phase, where they have started thinking of what do they want to do, the event has happened for them, to the last stage of transitions, which is called as a new normal. You create a new normal for your client, where now a new life is set and they are ready to have a new identity and therefore move forward. So that's the financial transitionist journey.
Hello, ma'am. Sneha ji.
Yeah.
I'm Pranali here.
I'm
Ma'am, can you just give some in your this entire journey? What are the qualities that you have come across in people throughout your life in this professional that we can admire, that you have admired in people?
So when I have looked at my clients in transitions, some of them have been very, very focused. They have said that I know what I want to, but I don't know how I want to get there. So I need your help for that. And I've really admired those people to have their sanity in midst of all the chaos that they are going through personally and even in their professional lives. There are some others who have not had this focus, who always had inconsistent behavior. Things like they've said, okay, I want to get out of this house because, this house gives me memories of my partner and I just can't live here anymore. It's starting to bother me. The moment you tell that, okay, let's look for something, some other place for you, then they come back and they say that, but how can I leave this place, because it's all our memories and this is all I have. How can I leave this house and go? Because if I leave this, meaning that little memories also that I've lived with my spouse are going to go away. Then we are like, okay, fine, then let's stay back in the house. The moment I say, okay, let's stay back in the house, they are jumping onto the other side. So these are the situations where I pause and I tell them that, hey, this is what I am seeing. You are having a complete inconsistent behavior. Let's hold talk. Do you see that too? And the clients who are open-minded, who are ready to move forward in life, they actually sit with me and really see themselves out there on the drawing board as to how they are moving. That is something I really admire, because it's your own thing. If you have the ability to zoom out, just zoom out a little and observe what you're doing, you can actually see where you're going wrong, what you need to correct, etc. So these are a couple of things that I have really admired in people. Like, it's right there in you, and you just need somebody's help to show it to you. So I don't know if your question was related to
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm assuming that a lot of you will be dealing with a lot of clients and you may have similar situations. So
Yes.
these examples may actually help you somewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. And I think also you asked me about the course itself, right? So it is an international certification, which is run by Sudden Money Institute, which is head by Miss Susan Bradley. She is a very close mentor of mine. I have just learned so much from her that any and every chance I get to listen to her, even after my course completion, I'm out there jumping in my seat. And if anybody is interested, you can actually check out the website, which is called Sudden Money Institute, and you can know more about the course itself.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, my name is Reshma Maru. I just want to ask you one thing. when you face challenges in your life, might be professional or balancing your professional and personal life both, what is that one thing that stays with you and inspires you to keep moving forward?
Very nice question. I think it's very important for you to understand what is your core. There was an exercise, or rather a tool, that we run in the CEFT process while managing a lot of transition situations for clients, which is called knowing your touchstone, which is nothing but a core value, a core feeling of yours, which makes you happy, right? So that is where I spend some time understanding of what makes me happy. Me as in me, an individual, not me as Sneha Jaggar, not me as a mother of two kids, a wife, a daughter, employee, women in finance, nothing of those sorts. What does me, just me as a person, that makes me happy? Because if you're ready to find that, your true identity and your true happiness, you will automatically realize. So whenever I get overwhelmed and when I have too many things to do, I try to focus and I say that, okay, what is important to me? What aligns with me? And you should be ready to say no. A lot of times, we, especially as women, have not learned how to say no. We feel that telling no means, how can you say no? You just have to stretch yourself and pull yourself, and you have to, do everything. It's simple things at home, like, you've made A breakfast and somebody else in the family needs B breakfast. You can't say no, right? So you have to stretch yourself and manage it. So I have just redesigned things for myself, been brought in a little more discipline in my environment, whether it means work or at home, where I'm clear that this is the option. At home, it's like I am also a working lady, like just like your father. So this is what I can do. If you're not happy with it, please help yourself. I can't do more than this. And it's okay to actually tell that this is my boundary. Because if you stretch too far, you will end up with, mental breakdown more than anything else. Therefore, it's very, very important to draw a boundary for yourself, to know what your core is and where you want to really be. I'm guessing you all are CAs, so you all like enjoy numbers, and you all, play with these numbers a lot of times. Maybe some of you also might be there because your fathers or somebody else in the family have actually pushed you and said, oh, this is a great profession, just take it, and you'll be able to take care of yourself. So, I mean, whatever is your situation, I'm not saying it is good or bad, but I'm saying you need to identify what your core is. For me, it is very, very important to give back to the society. That is something which is core to me. So any opportunity that I get, or if I can create an opportunity where in whatever little way I can give back to people, I go and grab that. If I have to sacrifice something else for it, I don't hesitate. I don't really, worry that, okay, this is there, that is there. I know what I want to do. And that's where I go ahead and, go ahead and grab it. For women also, I am a facilitator for a workshop called I Am Remarkable. It is, I'll just link that over here because it's very important that, for us to not have rather identity crisis. What happens is society has put women in a certain role. And when you are looking at yourself not fitting into that role, you sort of think that is something wrong with me, because like everybody does it. Everybody takes care of the house and everybody does their work. And why am I not able to multitask? And it's completely okay. You're not supposed to multitask. Everybody is wired differently. Just because society says and has identified women to be a particular type, you don't have to relate to it. It is time that you start identifying and create your own identity and be okay with it. I am typically an outcast in my family because they feel that I speak my mind out and I am loud. I should be soft and I'm a mother, so I should have motherly instincts and things like that. But I'm like, I am me. You can't put me in that role, and I'm okay with it. As far as you have identified in your mind that it is okay. The other thing that a lot of us do is have this problem of, am I good enough? Have I done enough? Is this okay? You would have done some work where other CAs have taken like a month and not solved the case, but you've done it in like 2 days. But then you'll be like, is it a big deal? I think the others also, if they would have worked for 2 days more, they would have just done it in that time. It's because they worked for a month. I had a lot of answers and I solved this puzzle in 2 days. But it's not that. You have to give yourself the credit. There is this imposter syndrome that we are always associated with. We are unknowingly telling ourselves that we're not good enough. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Anybody else would have done it. But it's high time that you realize your potential and start speaking about them. Because if you don't speak about it, nobody else is going to speak about it, right? It's just like if you're hungry, you're hungry. There are times you're hungry just after you finished your lunch also. Just because your mind has worked so much, half an hour later, you're like, oh, everything is gone, I'm hungry. You have to announce that you're hungry. Nobody will know that you're hungry. Similarly, your skills also, you have to talk about it. Nobody will know that you portray them. And you have to really come up. There's another thing that, women do. Women let other women down when they talk good about themselves. And the men do it too, but women do it even otherwise. So there's a very beautiful line which we talk about in the workshop, which says, it is not bragging when it is based on a fact. So in your head, if you feel that, oh, if I speak something good about myself, the other person is not going to like it, change yourself and tell it to your mind that it is not bragging if it is based on a fact. So if you've actually solved a case and whatever, got a refund for your client who is otherwise having to pay a couple of lakhs as their, tax, you've actually done a good job and you're not bragging because you're talking about a fact that you've done. So just be bold and, take it on.
Good to know, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Ma'am, you said you are a mother. What different roles you play in your personal and professional lives, and how do you balance all those roles?
Oh, I play a lot of different roles because my two kids have age difference of 5 years. So while one is a small boy, the other is just getting into his teenage. So I have to be more friendly with him than guiding, because it's just the change, the life change that he is going through. So yeah, it's not really easy because there have been clashes where I have work on Saturday, but at the same time I have a PTM. So I have to choose between the two, right? What do I do? I try and balance it out. So if there is a Saturday that I don't have meetings, I try and pitch in for the PTM. But if I do have meetings pre-planned, then I tell my husband that, okay, I think you got to take it because he's your son too. It's not that I'm required always. And then he goes. So there have been times where the teacher's not seen me, but only my husband. And then one of the last PTMs, she'll come and say, oh, you're the mother, is it? I am like, yes. So there are challenges, but I think I have been lucky enough to get the support of my partner, the support of my family, because that is very important. It's very easy to easy for the people around to talk about the things that I said. You don't fit into that ideal lens of a mother. and you are like, an outcast that way. But as far as your family understands, it's all that matters. My son knows that, I spend time with him. If I have missed that 20 minutes of PTM, it's okay. He knows that. And that's the confidence I have sort of tried to ingrain in my kids. Because if the father was busy with something else, I'll make sure I am there. So it's between the two of us, we are always, making sure that whatever dual responsibilities we have, we can try and pitch in. There have been times where I have had to put down some things on work front, because at that time my child took the priority, because the child was not well and he was sick. So at that point in time, meetings can happen again, but a sick child definitely needs me. So I have to step up again and let my boss know that I skipped his PTM for the meeting. Today I need to skip this because he needs me more. And I think I have, like I said, I have been lucky to have a mentor who is very, very supportive of what I do, and is always giving me the free hand to move ahead and change things as per, what I believe and what it should be like. So over there also, as far as you set the right expectations and you work transparently, it's good. I didn't tell him that, oh, suddenly I've got a stomach upset and I have to miss this meeting. Because then it talks lowly about you. I clearly let him know that these are the personal challenges I have, and I'm sorry, this is my priority right now. And that's how I have sort of balanced between my roles. And like I said again, a lot of support from my family, which has helped me to play these dual, triple roles that go on in life.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am.
I'm glad. I'm glad if something can help you out there. Some inspiration can come in and take it
It's
forward.
inspiring. Nisha, you're not audible.
Yeah. Hi, Sneha ji.
Hi.
Sneha ji, as a woman, normally, as you say, that we women are normally going through so many transitions. So, your financial wellness mantra, you are special in that for we women, that in our transition, how should we go ahead? A few mantras, if you can enlighten us.
So I would say that financial wellness mantras are common for all. There will not be something different for a man or a woman, to be very honest and transparent. However, the goals that a woman has to plan for has to be more, how do I say, it has to be thought a little more deeper and a little more far-fetched. Because what happens is, ultimately, when there is a childbirth, I would say 99% the women will take a break for childcare. It's unlikely that, 6 months later, the women will get back to the job where the man is actually, quit the job for taking care of the child. So the ones who are actually starting off their careers right now have not actually gotten into the marriage. Whenever I talk to them about financial planning, I definitely tell them that you should plan for sabbaticals in your career. Because what will happen is, even if you're not, pressurized that, oh, now you're pregnant, now you quit the job, now you take care of the child, you may have a motherly instinct which says that, I want to be with the child and I want to bond with the child, and you may want to take a couple of years break in your career. I myself have done that. When I conceived, I quit, only not because I didn't want to work, but because at that point in time I just want to be there with my family, experiencing whatever is happening. And that's where, when I speak to women today, I tell them that you should plan your sabbatical, because this is for late 20s, early 30s, when you actually take a break. And then the finances of the family changes, because suddenly there is increased responsibility, but there is dropped income. Where there was dual income coming in, now there is only one income coming. And even if you are a freelancer, you will not have enough as much time to dedicate for that freelance work. So that also will reduce the income, if not stop. So planning for sabbatical is very, very important. The other thing that also is very important, which we don't think of yet, is elderly care. Again, elderly care. When there is a time when you have to take care of your elders in the family, it's most likely the women in the family who will leave everything and say, okay, I will come and take care of my parents or my parents in-laws. So it's the second sabbatical which is most likely to come in to most women's careers. Again, when I talk about planning for finances, I tell them that these are the two career breaks you should keep in mind. And while you're planning for finances, you should be financially secure so that the 2 years or the 3 years break that you're taking in your career can support the money you have created, the corpus you created for yourself can support you for those 2-3 days, or your family if you're actually having EMIs, dual income, have dual EMIs, where 50-50 the husband and the wife pays. So that corpus should be able to sustain you and should be able to give you some sort of a uplift in your career, where you do some sort of a course alongside your sabbatical, so that when you get back to the career, get back to your full working life, you are looked up to. Because the 3 year break completely staying away from your field is not going to really add. So that corpus should support you for these things. Another thing, I'll just quickly share with you on, since we are at the topic, I think it would make sense to just deep dive into what does financial wellness technically mean? Because it's very loosely used term. Not everybody really, understands, and there's actually a hierarchy to it. Just let me know once you can see my screen.
Sure. Yes, we can.
I'm just trying to put it on the slideshow mode. Yeah. So for anybody, the financial wellness pyramid looks like this, where we start off with first protecting yourself. Whatever are the risks in your life, you will protect. Protect what you earn, because after all, your earnings is going to help you grow and your family grow. You protect what you own. You have houses, you have cars, you have to protect what you own. For example, again, protection here means taking insurance. So just like you take car insurance, you take home insurance, you protect what you earn is nothing but life insurance. You take insurance on your life. You protect what you owe. Whatever liabilities that you have, they need to be protected, because if something were to happen to you and you have taken this huge loan, how is your family going to support that? They will mentally be, tired, that mentally be upset that I've lost this loved one. But how will they manage the finances, and how are they going to actually go ahead and pay that loan? Because the earning member is actually affected, right? The earning member is no more. So that's where you need to take, again, this is about life insurance, where all the loans, etc., that you have should have an equivalent of life insurance assigned to it. The last one is you need to protect those you love, which is basically your health insurance, your critical illness, personal accident insurances, so that they have the required cover if they were to physically get ill or things like that. Protection is the base of everything. It's as simple as you all like cricket, or at least have seen players on the field. So when the batsman is actually walking on the crease, he will wear his helmet, he will wear his pads, and he'll have his gloves on, and that's when he starts playing the match. That is nothing but protection. You are first protecting yourself before getting onto the field, and then you start your game. Similarly, in your personal financial life, it's very important to have this protection layer. Three major things are your life insurance, your health insurance, and your personal accident. The next layer to your financial planning pyramid comes in the plans, goal plan. Now you will have certain critical goals, like you will have some major purchases. You want to buy a house for your family. You want to have some sort of an emergency corpus, because suddenly, if there is another COVID type situation, I can still, take care, and I have certain buffer available. I don't have to worry. I don't have to have a distressed sell of an existing asset just to generate cash. So emergency is basically having some cash balance with you. When I say cash, it's not literal cash at home. It'll be liquid investments with you. Then there are these other things that come into your mind, which is your kids' education. At times, there are people who have to plan for their self-higher education. So that also comes here, because the parents could support only till there, but I want to excel and I have to plan for my higher education. And the last one is retirement. Whatever said and done, you, me, everyone at some point in time want to achieve a state where I don't have to depend on generating an income every now and then. I have built enough corpus for myself so I can pull that money at my will, and that's going to help me take care till the rest of my life. That's what retirement comes into play. This type of planning, the second layer of planning, is called as the offensive planning. You're just starting to plan, actually start building your corpus and start looking at major important goals in your life. The third slice of this pyramid is prioritizing goals. So we've had the protection, we've got basic goal planning done. What is it that I have to do next? Because I am sort of comfortable in the two planning processes. The next thing, you start prioritizing your goals. You can add more goals because now you're a little more comfortable. You've created an emergency corpus for yourself. The major purchases in your life is done. Retirement is ongoing. You have a control of it. The education also is planned for. What do you do next? You start prioritizing, where you start now looking at overpowering inflation. Inflation is always a challenge, right? Today, we've heard our parents talk about 2 rupees, they used to get so much. And 2 rupees is absolutely, 2000 is probably not having much value today. So that's nothing but your inflation playing on a big role, eroding your money. So when we are planning for our finances, we have to make sure that the inflation does not eat into our money. And if we can afford a 100 rupee worth, whatever, a holiday worth a lakh today, I should be able to afford it even going forward whenever I do want to take the same holiday at whatever price that comes up. That's where your prioritizing comes into play. You have to start maximizing your plans. There might have been some goals which you've forgotten. That's where you start putting even the side goals down. For example, you plan for your retirement, but now you want to think that, okay, I would actually like to retire in the mountains, or I would actually like to retire in the near the beach. I would like to have a farmhouse, etc. So you start looking at little bit more sophisticated planning over here. Once you've got that's called as an aggressive planning. Once that's in place, we then move to the next level, which is passing your assets alone. It's a phase where you've actually achieved the financial success. You are no longer trying to build financial security for you, but you've actually reached the level of financial success. And now you're actually planning to give it away in a very, very planned manner to your next generation, to charity, to whoever, to whatever, philanthropy or whatever is on your mind. And you're also at that point in time trying to maximize the tax efficiency, because you don't want to have your hard-earned money gone all into taxes. And I think CAs would know this the much better than me, how clients react when taxes come in play. So this is the simple hierarchy of a financial planning what you call process. What you need to do is you need to identify where you are. Are you at the defensive planning stage? Are you at the offensive planning? Are you somewhere in between? You've like completely skipped the defensive planning level and you've actually reached the offensive planning stage. Maybe you need to go back, recheck and see, okay, I've got this in place, but this bottom thing is not there. Let me have this in place and then start building my hierarchy. Because if the bottom piece is not there, it is most likely that it will fall and you will not be systematic in your financial planning approach. So any questions on this? I'm sorry, I took longer to answer your question. I just thought it would be good to tie it in with this. You're on mute, Nisha.
Yeah, that's really wonderful, Sneha. Actually, we are doing planning at every stage of our life, but this type of strategically, this things we are not doing. Seeing that, I can realize little bit that yeah, at this stage, I did this protective planning. So indirectly, we all are doing, but we are not aware of that. But this goal, this thing is there in mind. I think we can plan it properly. That's really wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you. Thank you.
like I said, the first 2.5 blocks are basically creating the financial security for yourself and your family. The moment you reach towards the end of prioritizing your goal, you've mostly achieved whatever the basic needs are for you and your family. That's where technically your financial success starts. And then there is a different worry altogether, how you need to move forward. So
Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful.
Hello.
hi Meera.
Ma'am, so wonderful session. And one question we have in general is that what are the things that we should keep in mind while investing on short term or long term investment options?
Sure. So, Meera, first thing that you should do is have your goals and prioritize them. If you know what your goals are, it will be very easy for you to start your investment because your goals will also have the time frame attached to it. Some goals may be coming in within 3 years time frame. Some would be in 3 to 5 years. Some would be more than 5 years. So any goal which is like immediate within a year to 2 years, the investment strategy will technically be a liquid strategy because you will require that money at a very short notice. And therefore you will have to maintain that money in liquid strategy. The moment you have money available for slightly short to midterm, which is like 3 years plus to about 5 years time frame, it is good idea to introduce yourself to some sort of debt investments. Again, mutual funds are the easiest way out, but I mean, they are. It's a whole big session in itself when we come to talking to mutual funds. But I'll just throw some light and say that there are various categories of mutual funds, and if you were to look at what you should target, you should target liquid funds or liquid plus funds or even equity savings fund because they are mostly the liquid debt type funds for your extremely short-term goals, which is about 2 years. 3 to 5 years, you should have debt short-term category, dynamic bond fund categories. The moment you have a higher horizon, 5+ years, that's when you can start getting into the equity space, which is the growth space, which actually kicks in and lets your portfolio grow. Again, equity, when you're investing, also say via mutual funds, don't jump in just because somebody said, this is the right time to put in money, because there is no right time to put in money. You can never, ever, target investment. So the best and the easiest method is a systematic plan. If you already have built a lump sum, then you put money in certain liquid funds and do switches to STP fund. You can have it planned. If you have, that's called as a systematic transfer plan. So instead of SIPs that you all would have heard of, systematic investment plans, where from your monthly income you put in some money into equity month on month. Here the thing is you're not waiting for the money to come to you. The money is already there. So you do a systematic transfer. You park the money in the liquid funds and you do a systematic transfer from the liquid fund to the respected equity fund and slowly build your allocation. Another thing very important while you're doing investments is to understand what is your risk appetite. It's just like because you go shopping for clothes, just because somebody else likes to wear a sari and it's the most pretty sari, not necessarily you like to wear a sari, right? Even if it's the best sari, but if you don't like saris, you don't wear saris, why would you buy saris? Even if there is a distressed sale of saris, the worst you will do is pick it up for your mom. Similarly, in mutual funds also, don't blindly go by some tip. Somebody said that, this is the best thing. It might be for them, but is it for you? So you have to understand what is your innate risk-taking ability. And there are some good software which actually do a psychometric test to understand what is the risk-taking ability of the investor. There are some who are moderate. They are like, okay, I can take some risk, but I can't take all the risk in the world. There are some who are very, very aggressive. They are ready to, take all the risk in the world and even lose their capital. There are some who are very conservative. They are like, you give me little return, but I cannot have my money go down from the investment value. So those are conservative investors. So you need to see A, what your goals are, B, what the time horizons are, C, what is the innate risk-taking ability of yours, and match the three and pick what best suits you. And I know it just sounds too much to do in the beginning. That's why I started off with a simple example of looking at time horizon based investments where you have liquid, debt, and equity. These are the other finer aspects where when I work with someone, I keep in mind, because my job is not to let you lose your sleep over the investment. At no point in time, you should be uncomfortable and have your investments bothering you. That should be completely taken away. That confidence that it's growing and it's aligned to whatever I want to do needs to come. So in short, these are a few things you can do. Again, it's very, 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 very important that you start saving, even if somebody else in your family, your spouse or your parents, etc., have done something. But it's very, very important that you start doing it for yourself. It's just like the tax saving instruments need to be in your name, right? Your financial freedom also needs to be in your name. Your husband's plan cannot be your plan, or your parents' plan cannot be your plan. It's just that women have been brought up being dependent on other people. It's high time that we actually start taking care of ourselves and start actioning towards them. So there is annual survey done by PwC on financial wellness, and they've been doing it for the past 5 years is what I know of, and I've been following the survey for the past 3 to 4 years. And consistently, every year, when they throw this survey, when they actually throw light on the survey, the financial worry for individuals is consistently going on increasing. And with COVID coming in this year, I'm sure the next year's report would have further taken it. It's done more for the employees. It's not done for freelancers or professional people. It's more for the employees. It's also because it's easier to get access. You reach out to the company HR and they float it around. So it's an easier access. So in that report, it's clearly shown that the stress is something that worries people. But what are the factors of this stress? 55% of times people have said that it is financial stress that they have. The numbers have stayed constant across generations, whether you talk about baby boomers, whether you talk about the Gen Z, whether you talk about millennials, all of them have they have financial stress. In fact, the older people have lesser stress and the younger people have more financial stress. And to dissect that data into men and women, although you may think that men have a lot of stress, women have 20% more stress than men when it comes to financial worries. They are more worried than men. If you read through articles, if you read through research, it is more likely because a lot of women don't see themselves as breadwinners of the family. They see themselves as supporters of the family. And therefore, for them to feel financially secure is very important. And the study and the research is constantly been showing that it is time to start paying attention to it, etc. And that's where I'll just tag this back to the role. That's where I came in and I said that, okay, we should do something for the corporates. We've been doing great work for the individuals in the space of personal finance, but what do we have available for group of people, for say corporates? Can we run something called as financial well-being? Everybody's heard of, health well-being, mental well-being has been huge this year. Somewhere financial well-being is not concentrated on. And I feel that is a huge space where I would like to contribute, because like I said, my core is in giving back. And I feel this is a space which is still untouched by a lot of people. They're not really seeing the potential and the true worth, because financial worry technically, affects your health. You have people starting to smoke because they are worried, how am I going to pay my EMI? Internally, you're depleting your health. It affects relationships because, again, the couple are just worried constantly about how to manage expenses. They're not really looking at how to live a life together. When there are arranged marriages, the parents are worried. Okay, what is this boy doing? Is he going to take care of my daughter or no? So money is all over us. It's just how we make sense of it, how we put things together, how we plan for it is which is something that will throw light and give you a very comfortable life ahead. That's where financial planning technically helps you see the blueprint of your financial future, what it looks like. Are you good to achieve them? Are you not good to achieve them? What are the course corrections that you can do to actually be able to live a comfortable life? What are the action plans you need? How much you actually need to start saving for a month to make sure that your retirement is there by the time you're 50, 55, or 40, whatever you have in your mind. And that's financial planning plays a big role.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Really got to learn a lot.
Pleasure.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Jana.
Gianna. Gianna.
Gianna.
Yes. Yeah. So I had a question. Like, I also work with an NGO which helps a lot of women, getting to work and everything. So they are pretty new to the system. They have just started getting on their own. So I would want to know what are the steps, like the baby steps which these people can take to understand investment. Like when they look at numbers, they are already like, how do we do it? We don't understand anything. And then the whole thing just goes into their husband's hands or their father's hand. Ki, bhai, we are working, you take care of it. But I would want them to get into it and take care of their own money. For that, they will have to understand it on their own. So, like you were telling me that there are various softwares or websites which help you. So, are there any very simpler steps or baby steps they can start with to first understand it and start doing it on their own, plan it on their own?
Yeah, so I would say that first thing they should start doing is keep a certain money aside and just put it into a liquid fund. A liquid fund, you can use any of these apps. I think there is Kuvera, there is Investwell, there is Scriptbox, there are all whole lot of things available online. You could just tell them that, okay, take 500 rupees every month and start an SIP which gets into a liquid fund. Liquid fund is nothing but you can imagine it to be like a recurring deposit because people relate to that much better. So you take that 500 rupees and put it there. 4 months later, when you actually see that you have put in about 2,500 or sorry, 2,000 rupees, it has actually become 2,025, 2,035 or 2,040. You know that that money is growing. Then you go redeem, say 200 rupees you redeem from them. You see the cycle, the money coming back into your account. You know that, oh, it actually works. It's actually that simple. That's how I introduce things to someone who's never invested before. I tell them, hold on, let's go slow, let's just do this small process. You let me know how you feel, what was smooth for you, what was your worry. Did the money come into your account in one working day's time? Did you get the experience of investing? Because the worry is not that, where my money is going, etc. It's more like you've not experienced it before. We've seen FDs for eons now because our parents have been doing it. We've heard of recurring deposit, we've heard of these PPS, but we've not seen anybody do MF as such. We are the first ones who are doing it. So let them experience with these small baby steps. Once they've done it, say it's been a quarter, that's when you then start telling them that, okay, let's go ahead and make a plan where you can start doing simple SIPs into low risk investments. Keep this as a buffer for your own support. Don't take this out for, suddenly this child's education fees or this, that, nothing for that. Even if it is as low as 500 rupees into liquid and 500 rupees into one scheme which will help you for your long term requirement, start off with that. And that's the start. I would Gianna, I would suggest that they do. In fact, I'm more than happy, and if you have something like that, we can connect offline. We can run a session for them to actually how they can start and what are the 2-3 things they should do and take it forward. So we can definitely help you with that.
Sure, sure. Thank you, ma'am. I will definitely get back to you.
Most welcome.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Sure. I don't know whether, I don't have a flow in mind. So whenever you all are asking me questions, things that are coming to my mind, and if I can link to some other things, I'm trying and sharing as much as I can. So if at all you feel that I'm going a little off track and something needs to be expanded and, get down to basics, please let me know. I'll try and be more specific.
Nisha, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Jalak said that you were on sabbatical. I think from 2016 you came back. So can you elaborate what are the problems you faced coming back and how you overcome those challenges?
Yeah, so technically I conceived in 2013. So I took a sabbatical immediately then because I'm based out of Bangalore, and the Bangalore roads are amazing for any pregnant lady to be on the road. So it was sheer protection from the family and my own protection that I don't want to be traveling more than anything else. Where I took a conscious decision of quitting my work and. Post the delivery, obviously I was busy with my child, etc., but at the back of my head I knew that I can't stay in the house because that's not where I belong. And it started worrying me because somewhere I'd also become a little complacent. you know you don't have to go for any meeting, you don't have to really worry about anything. There is one thing in you which is saying that this is not you. This is not what you are meant to be or you're meant to do. This is not what makes you happy. And there is another thing in your mind, just because you're holding a child and everything is very complacent, you don't have to worry about any deadlines, and you're not worrying about bringing in anything, so you're very complacent. Food is coming at the table, and life is all rosy and goody. Go on holiday when you want to, travel when you want to. But then I realized that I cannot work like that. And what is my plan? Do I want to quit professional career forever? And if not, when do I want to get back? And that's where I started doing some smaller courses, some smaller studies, etc. So I'd already enrolled for CFP, but during that break I completed my CFP. And that's when one fine day I was like, okay, I have to get out of here, because if I don't now, I will never. I'll just get too complacent. So the first thing that came to my mind was going back to where I left. And that's what I did. I went back to an interview to the organization I had left. I'd left International Money Matters, and they were more than happy to have me back. And I was also very thrilled, and I took the opportunity. Of course, to be very honest, there was an issue of pay gap, because I had a sabbatical of 3 years, but the other colleagues who were, with me, are now gone ahead, and I might just be as a under someone who was at my level 3 years back. But that is an ego that you have to swallow, and you have to move on, because ultimately you have taken a break. You've enjoyed something else in life which they have not. They have struggled, and they have continued to be in this field. So I swallowed my ego and I said, I'm okay. As far as I know that professionally I can grow and I can get growth to myself, it's just a start that you need to worry about, because there is always a starting problem. एक बार चालू हो गया तो you will know your potential and you will take it up. And for me, it was great, because I started off in one department and I moved to the other, and in 3 years I actually achieved the AVP title. So it was personally a very, very what you call emotional move for me, because I had to leave my 2-year-old and come here. And at that point in time, again, I was lucky that my partner was back home at that point in time, so I could move forward. So mentally I was saying there is someone with my child, he's not alone. And that's how I started off. So for those who are taking a break, two things: please upgrade yourself during that break. Don't just sit tight. Do some sort of an upgrade, because all employers understand that there will be a maternity break, and they are accepting that break also. It's not a challenge anymore. But if you are dedicated to the work and you've actually gone ahead and upgraded yourself, you've updated yourself to what's happening in your field, that is a big plus for you. And that brings in confidence to go back and say, okay, I am ready, and I am, I am an asset for you more than anything else. I was not strong enough to start on my own, because I just thought I had too much of responsibility on my personal front. It was easier for me to just be employed, so I took the easier route of going back to my earlier employer. But a lot of them actually like the flexibility, and with the options available online today, your blogs, your um, blogs, and so many things, part-time jobs available online, they pick that route as well, because they want the flexibility. They want to work when they want to work. When the child is sleeping, I'm working, I'm finishing my project, and they work on assignment basis. So there are a lot more options today available. I am also associated with Connected Women, where I write for them, and they are a platform where they bring in women who are in a career break and they want to restart, whether they are looking for full-time jobs or they are looking for these project-based work. They connect people on that platform. So if anybody is interested, can check that out and see if there are opportunities there for them.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. Great to know, Sneha. Actually, basically, the problem is that only in our profession also, that is the only what we say, that we have done this much best. You may say that degree, chartered accountant, such a great degree, but I'm seeing many CA women. When they go on sabbatical, it's very difficult to come back because you are away from your all routine updates. You are not updated, and even if you're updated, but when you're coming back, there is still something in your mind that how I'll be. Yeah.
There is a
So
fear
that
that
is
it's not good enough. That's the
yeah,
imposter syndrome, which
yeah,
we have to throw out of the window
yeah,
and take our first step. That's what I said. The starting is important
yeah,
because
exactly.
once you start, no, you will be fine. But if you don't start, then you will be blaming yourself, and then always tell yourself, 5 years down the line, will I be happy with this decision that I'm making today? You know, if the answer is yes, so be it. You're good. But if the answer is no, you better do something about it.
Yeah.
And I
You
also
should not
understand
live with that feeling that okay, I have done this much and I'm not able to do. So that is up to you. That is like procrastination that you want to do but you're not doing. But the thing is, if you want to come back, if you're enjoying that life, that's fine. But if you want to come back, you have to take one baby step
yeah,
as a like.
yeah,
Then I think you are not you are unstoppable.
yeah. And I
That
think,
I have. Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm just saying that CA is a lovely profession, and there is no another option for that. I mean, nobody will even go on to a robotic CA platform. I think your competitors are HRBR blocks, etc. But those are more for simpler cases. All the complicated cases would always want, or even slightly not standard cases, will want to, vet things through a CA. And CA's job is even more important because you have to be on your toes with the articles that are getting updated, I think, almost on monthly basis. Every new section that comes in, every amendment that happens, you have to be at the top. And I think having a forum like yours for upgrade is very good. Maybe you could start another arm for women getting back as well, and what sort of material they need to just study and read and come back for them to gain some confidence that okay, yes, I'm ready and I want to get back to the field. Just an idea that came to my mind, maybe.
Actually, this women empowerment committee, actually, our purpose is that only, that we obviously those who are into the profession, they should go ahead. But those who are not coming, actually, our goal is that to motivate them in one or other way. That's why this kaleidoscope, this inspiring session we have started, that they get inspiration and come back. Somehow, we all are there to support. The need is only to take a step and to come ahead.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That fear, you just have to cross that fear. That's all. It is there because you're too complacent.
Every woman is facing. Even if I think about myself, there was a sabbatical of 3-4 years. Every woman is facing because somehow we are women, and deep inside our heart, obviously, whatever may be the profession, but somehow a family matters a lot. So everybody is taking that. So I think the only thing is to realize that no, you have to come back anyhow. Whatever problem you would face, you have to come back. So you're truly an inspiration. That's why, like, I asked you this question, that it gives inspiration to others also. Thank you very
I'm
much.
glad. I mean, if I can inspire others, that would be one of the happiest things that I would like to do.
Yeah. Thanks, Neha.
Most welcome. If there are no more questions, I'm sorry. Are there any more questions?
Uh, yes,
Uh,
Sneha, one last question from my side. I had been listening to all the questions. Since you are one of the top 100 women in finance, basically, when it comes to negotiation, let be it top client or medium client, please share with us some tips to convince our client. Of course, we cannot, chartered accountants, we have our own code of ethics where we cannot market our services. Of course, indirect means are much, but can you suggest some tips whereby we can convince our client uh, in both the ways to hire our services? It's on amount level. What are the tips which can be helpful to us?
I think on negotiation front, you have to be clear and transparent. That's always worked for me because the worry in my field personally is the matter of trust. Knowledge comes in as a challenge lesser today because they don't really think that a male CA is going, or I'll take my example, like a male planner is going to be more powerful or much better at their work than a female planner, because the certification is the same. So there is no way the knowledge would differ. The years of experience obviously brings in value. So I think once you are a CA, the knowledge is not a challenge. The challenge is for you to be transparent and demand a price that you need to get. And why? The clear thing is to tell the client, why am I charging what I am charging? If you feel that your charge is perfect, say if it is hourly based, and you can be a little more transparent and tell the client that my years of experience and my expertise in this field is actually priced at so much, and I'm going to put in X number of hours for you, therefore the charge that I'm going to have for you is this. And even after then, if you're getting challenges in getting clients, then maybe you need to go back and think that what the actual challenge is. It may not be the pricing challenge, it may be something else, you know. I don't know, maybe it's like you know someone they know, and therefore they are worried that you may leak their data to that other person you too commonly know. So that could be a worry. So if you're transparent on your charges and your services, and you've done a great job, try and portray what you've done. So if you've done filings of X numbers last year, like, you know, talk about what you've done. I will not come to Anjali knowing not knowing what Anjali has done. But if Anjali can just say, you know, 1,000 cases filed, help refund 100 lakhs last year, it's not really it's not boasting, but it's actually it's not bragging,
Brand.
but it's actually telling what you've done. And that's your knowledge level, that's your expertise. So that is somewhere you need to clearly point out and say what is it that you can deliver. So I don't think money would be an issue once you can clearly identify and point out and tell your clients what is your capacity and what you can deliver. But internally, if this is not the challenge, you may need to rework and see what is stopping them, and do your homework around, you know, asking a few clients that, okay, I realized that you never came back to me. May I know why? What happened? Did something go wrong in our meeting? So what's stopping you from doing that? Because that will be a learning for you.
Correct.
Some may say that, no, actually, you know, like I said, you know, this person is closer to my house, so I went to this person. It would be as silly as that. And you're trying and thinking that, oh, you know, they are not coming to me, they are not coming to me. Maybe then you need to have an office in that locality where, you know, people are comfortable going. Maybe your locality or where you're working from is a little far away. Maybe that could be a solution. So nothing stopping you even from a client who's gone away to actually pick the call and say, you know, I was looking forward to working with you, but if you don't mind, could you help me understand why did, you know, our association end there? Because in my mind, I was pretty transparent. It would help me improve if you could share. So maybe that's the feedback collecting mechanism which you could add, which could help you service your clients better.
Great. Getting feedback from clients is really a wonderful suggestion, because generally we don't go back to clients and ask for feedbacks. But yes, that's the one way to again initiate the conversation. And even if he's not coming for the first time, but next time he will definitely look for us.
Yeah, and I think you will just be different immediately there and then, because he spoke to 5C and nobody bothered. Why
Yeah,
anyone call me
that's
back?
a differentiation. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and
yes.
then there will be a better recall. You know, no, that person actually called me to figure out. You know, that person
Yeah.
genuinely
Jen,
interested in doing the work.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Most welcome.
I
Any other questions on mine?
Yeah. So I think, are there any other questions? Otherwise, we conclude it over here. Yeah. I think,
Uh,
Sneha.
Nisha, 1 minute. I had written a poem actually for myself last year,
Great.
which I published on Women's Day this year, because I just thought that it was beyond me. It was for all the women out there. So before we close, I would just like to read that out to everyone, and I hope that inspires everyone. So I'll just quickly take you. There is no big name to the poem. I just written sort of a letter which said from me to me, sort of a thing. But I think the message is very strong, and you all may relate to it. It will take about a minute. You are a very strong person. It's okay to feel broken sometimes. Just that you must lift yourself up and move on. You are as giving as a mother can be. It's okay to put yourself first sometimes. This will help you keep sane and happy. You are friendly and loving. It's okay to fight for your self-respect. If you don't, nobody else will. You are helping and caring. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. After all, you too have feelings. You are beautiful on the inside and outside. It's okay if you have gray hair, sagging belly, and loose skin. Just concentrate on being fitter, healthier, and not on shrinking waist. You love and adore your family, and they reciprocate the feeling. It's okay to demand some me time. Make sure to give them theirs as well. You deserve to be happy. It's okay to be disheartened sometimes, but never lose your smile and yourself. You shower love on your near and dear ones. It's okay if they have different priorities. All you need to learn is to make this love unconditional. So, with that note, I will end today. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you very much, Neha. It was really a lovely poem. Like
Lovely
we feel,
poem.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful poem. And I love to write poems, so I really, I think we must interact with each other about this stuff.
So,
So Sneha, it was really a very stimulating conversation. I think all of us were so much into it. We just want to hear you more and more. The way you describe different type of planning, and the way women should come up with the baby steps which you described that they should take to invest. That's really quite knowledgeable to us. All of us would surely get a lot of benefits from it. And one thing which you said I like the most, I am remarkable. See, everything with whatever we are doing, but the best thing is I am remarkable. That thing should be there in ourselves. That is always giving us motivation to go ahead, like whatever it may be, I am remarkable. And on these lines, one little thing I also want to share. रख विश्वास खुद की मजबूत बुलंदियों पर, रख विश्वास खुद की मजबूत बुलंदियों पर, ईंट के मकान शोक हवाओं से नहीं ढहा करते। गर ना होता भरोसा चींटियों को अपने बल पर, गर ना होता भरोसा चींटियों को अपने बल पर, पहाड़ जैसी चीनी के बोझे ना उठा करते। So this is what you have delivered over here.
Wow, wow, wow.
What you have
We have
delivered over
to.
here, and we are really delighted to have you in between us and inspire us. Especially those women who are on sabbatical and planning to come back. You are truly an inspiration, and we are always looking forward that this type of inspiration somehow, even if a single woman get inspired from that and come back, that's a really a good thing for all of us. So thank you very much, Sneha. It was truly a stimulating conversation with you. And I thank you all the participants for being here for this lovely conversation. And I thank you on behalf of WMSC of Ahmedabad branch of ICAI. Thank you very much, all of you. And I think we conclude with this. Thanks, all of you.
thank you. Thank you so much. My pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you, Nisha ji, Sneha ji. We end the session here. Next Saturday, we would be back with amazing sessions again. Thank you so much. And lovely poem, Nisha and Sneha ji, lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. Happy
Bye
weekend.
bye.
Same
Same to you. Bye bye.